Good morning. How are you doing today? Hope it's going all right at your end. So good to be with you again today. And we're going to be taking a study on something very, very, very interesting and important. Let's say a word of prayer before we go ahead. Thank you, Father, for the privilege of life today. Thank you for another privilege to sit at your feet and learn. Please give us understanding that at the end of this teaching, we'll be healed, we will grow, and we'll do it better. To your glory and praise, and the blessings will be ours. In Jesus' name, amen. You're welcome again this morning. We're going to be looking at the rod of correction. What is the rod of correction? Let's get back to the reference we had from the scriptures in Proverbs 22:15. And it says that foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. The rod of correction shall drive the foolishness far from a child. In the previous video, we talked about the foolishness, what it is in the heart of a child. So we're going to be looking at the rod of correction. What is this rod of correction? Is it a thing? The rod of correction is not a thing. It's good you understand that the rod of correction is a process. And when you get to understand the processes involved in the rod of correction, you will be able to drive foolishness away from your child. So we're going to be taking them one after the other. It is worthy of note that you have a responsibility to drive away foolishness from this child. It's a God-given responsibility. So you need to understand it is your responsibility and accept it. That is number one. And number two is you present to the manufacturer. Someone manufactured that product, that child. It's not, how do I put it? It's not your child per se. It's not your belonging. Let me put it that way. You were just a vehicle through which it came into existence. So you don't own it. Someone owns it. Someone made it. But he gave it to you on trust to take care of it for him. So you need to present it back to him so you can learn how to work the work and work it perfectly well. And you present through prayer. You create life. Just like the manufacturer who manufactured it, you manufacture life into this product through prayers. You speak life, not death. You give life, not kill, in the place of prayer. You present it, your weakness and strength, and ask for wisdom on how to carry out this assignment. And once you have this done, then you can proceed on the processes of the rod of correction. The rod of correction, number one. I want us to go to the scriptures in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 and 7. And we all know Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now, Deuteronomy 6, verse 6 says, and these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. Verse 7. And thou shalt teach. Take note of that word, teach. And thou shalt teach them diligently. Not anyhow, like a disical or carelessly, but diligently. Unto who? Unto your children. You shall teach them diligently unto your children. Now take note. And shall talk of them. 1, when you are sitting in your house. 2, when you're walking by the way. 3, when you're lying down. 4, when you rise up. You're teaching practically. So it's not just when you sit down and call the child, please come, I want to teach you. No, at every opportunity that presents, you teach. As you walk on the way with your child, you're teaching. As you're sitting at home, you're teaching. You're lying down, sleep before you do that, you teach. You rise up early in the morning, so you're making use of every opportunity that presents to do what? Teach, so you're diligent. And you know why you need to teach? Number one, you establish authority when you teach, when you instruct. So, number one of rod of correction is instruct, teach. You establish authority. If you don't teach a thing, you don't have authority in that thing. If your child does not learn something from you, he may not come back to you to ask why this and why that. But if you have instituted an authority in that thing, then he can come back to, I tried this, but it didn't work. Why? Someone else did this way. Why? But you taught me this. Why? So you do what? You instruct. In any country, there are rules. In any nation, there are regulations guiding the country. And that's why they take time to educate their subjects, the people. This and this and this are permissible by the law. If you do this, you've got benefits. If you do this, you're going to face the wrath of the law. And you look at it, it's like that. If you go against the law, you face the punishment. But first of all, you have been informed. And that's why when you come before the court of law and you say, I didn't know, your case is dismissed because ignorance. You can't plead ignorance before the law. So instruct, teach. It's applicable to you as a parent. God has given you that authority. Exercise it. Teach your child. This is how to put the bed. This is how you make your bed. This is how you wash the dishes. This is how you keep the house clean. This is how you do this. This is how you show respect. They learn these basic primary things from you. Development milestones. We're going to be dealing with that in other videos. They learn it from you. So God has given you that responsibility. Give it out diligently. Teach. You're cooking in the kitchen and the child comes around. Don't just say, please go, I'm busy. No, bring the child close and teach something. There is a lesson he or she needs to learn at that point. You want to go to bed, the child is around. Give that child something. So instruct, that is number one. Your instructions helps to pattern their lives. Your instruction helps to pattern their lives. It gives them a roadmap. It gives them what to lean on in moving. But if you just leave them on their own, they can just live anyhow. So number one, instruct. Number two, model. We see our children saying, I love this person, I like this person, I want to be like this person, I want to be like that person, because they saw something in that person. What can they see in you? You are attracted to what you admire. What do they admire in you? Are you the opposite of what you're teaching? You teach them, don't lie, and you're lying. Don't steal, and you're stealing. Don't be greedy, and you're greedy. What are you teaching? You're going against your teaching. And you know what they listen to the more? They listen to your actions, because that's what they observe. That's what they see. Their five senses are working actively. So as you instruct, do well to model what you're teaching. And that begins with your understanding that it is your responsibility. Whatever knowledge you need to get it to help you. Whatever it is in your life that needs to be corrected, work on that, because you're going to be needing it in your modeling. So by the time you understand that this is my responsibility, you are putting yourself in good shape to take on this responsibility. So, number two, model. What are you modeling? You hear them saying, I like this person, I want to be like this person, I want to be like this person when I grow up. What can they see about you? What can you model? What can they admire in you? You are only attracted to what you admire, and that's true. So, what do you want them to copy? Model it. Don't be the opposite of what you're teaching. If you're teaching sincerity, be sincere. If you're teaching contentment, be content. If you're teaching truthfulness, be truthful. Don't teach them you have to be truthful and you are lying. They'll see you as a pretender. I don't understand my parent. He tells me to do this and he's doing the opposite. Because let me follow somebody who I know. And sometimes these models they're showing us, their character is nothing to write home about. And then your children want to be like them because they believe that the person they are seeing is false. So maybe this person far is true. So please don't give your children reasons to go after the false models. Be a true model. Model Christ. If there is anything in you that does not represent truthfulness, work on it. That's why you present in prayer. Bring it to God. Let God deal with it so that it doesn't be your undoing when you are applying the rod of correction on your child. So, number one, remember, instruct. And number two, model. Now we move to number three. You have taught your child. Remember, I said when you instruct, you establish authority. Don't keep things here. This is where you keep things. And then tomorrow your child comes and repeats what he did yesterday. That is where correction comes to play. Just like in our school setting, the teacher comes to teach before he corrects. You don't see a teacher coming up to make correction before teaching. No, the teaching comes first. Then when it is not understood, then correction comes to help that student understand better. So when you have instructed, when you have taught your child, you watch to see how the child is going to apply what you've taught. If that child does not do it properly, don't just dismiss it and say, that's children for you. No, correct. That is the rod of correction. Correct the child. I told you this thing ought not to be here. Fix it here. And the child, oh, mommy, I forgot. Or daddy, I forgot. And he picks it up. Tomorrow he repeats again. Children, their attention span, like we studied, sometimes is very slow. So they tend to forget. Repeat again. Make sure it is well understood. It is something that is well understood that will be obeyed. Just like you as an adult. If you don't understand something, you won't be able to do it well. But when you have fully understood that thing, it's very easy for you to comply. So let this child understand. If he doesn't understand, make him understand. Teach again. Correct. Make it clear to him. You don't take people's belongings without their permission. That is an instruction. And he did it another day. What did I tell you the last time? You don't take people's belongings without their permission. So ask. He came to your bag and took something without your permission. You correct. What did I told you? Don't touch my bag unless you tell me you want to do this. You are strengthening what you have taught. And by the time that child fully understands, you will see he won't do it again. Unless he's trying to play pranks. So correct. Correct. Then in correcting, number 4, discipline comes. Somebody was saying, now you said we're not going to flog, we're just going to pray. No. Remember, I said it's a process. Discipline comes as number 4. When you have corrected and you are sure that this child has understood, then you discipline. Even sometimes when you see that your talking is not really working, discipline. It also strengthens your instruction. Discipline, what is it? It is training the mind to obey. Discipline, training the mind, training the character to produce self-controlled habits of obedience. Discipline. So you're training both the mind and training the character to obey. And you take measures. There's so many measures. 2 of which I'll tell you. One is reproof and the other one is rebuke. In disciplining, it's not every time you apply hard measures. You can talk about it and discipline. I told you not to do that. Those days our parents, they use their eye to speak to us. There's something you would do, your mom or your dad would just look at you as in fix the eyes on you and you just know, I better not do this again. No, that's reproof. It could be non-verbal. It could be your actions, your reactions. They come to talk, they ask you something, you just ignore the person. It's better I think. You are disciplined. That means this thing mommy says is very important. Are you following? Okay. So another one is you talking with a hard, a firm voice. I thought I said, don't do this again. If you do this again, this is what I'm going to do to you. And let me tell you, this one requires wisdom. When you have mentioned what you're going to do, if they fail to do what you've asked them to do, please do it. Let me come in here. A mother told the child, you don't take things from strangers. Before you eat whatever someone gives to you, make sure you show it to me. She has said it severally. And then one day, she discovered this boy has not understood this. They said, okay, we're going to sign an agreement. Any day I find you eating something I didn't give to you, what am I going to do to you? Playfully, they were talking. And the boy said, mommy, no, I'm not going to eat now. And he said, but what am I going to do to you? He said, 24 strokes of a cane. Ah, are you sure? He said, yes, so that I won't eat again. Oh. And the mommy wrote it down. I said, I'm going to sign this paper. You're going to sign. Mommy, has it gotten to that? Yes, now. So that we don't do it again. And they signed the paper for 24 strokes of the cane. And then one day, the mom was returning from market and he met the boy eating granite. And she never got granite for him and never gave him money. And when the boy saw her, he was afraid and she calmed him down because he was among his peers. He said, well, who gave you granite? And the boy was stammering, it's Mama John gave me. He said, oh, wow, is the granite sweet? And he said, yes, mommy, it's very sweet. You care? He said, no, I don't really need that. Let's get home. Let's go home. They went home, they finished their work, and the mom brought out the paper. I said, boy, can you help us read what we wrote here? And the boy said, the day you eat what I didn't give you 24 strokes of a cane. Mommy, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. He said, no, I know you're sorry, but we need to follow rules. So I'm going to give you the 24 strokes of a cane. And the boy was crying, mommy, I won't do it again. He said, yes, after this, you don't have to do it again. Did you know she gave him 24 strokes of a cane? 24. She did not miss one. And after that, that was the end of that disobedience. So you see where discipline comes. You have corrected, then you need to take measures. It may not be the cane, it may be kneeling down, it may be sitting on the air, it may be restricting him for some time in his room or denying him some of the privileges he enjoys or she enjoys. These are measures you put in place. Why are you doing all this? It's not to punish the child, it's to bring correction. Whatever you are doing is geared towards what? Correction. So discipline the child. And then you know that in all of this, sometimes it's as if every work we do is just failing. It's not failing. Sometimes the devil is also at work. You're trying to plant, he's trying to plant weeds. You're trying to put the good seeds as if everything is just fruitless, fertile. Now, that's where you bring God again. As you're teaching, as you're correcting, as you're modeling, you watch and pray. Watch and pray. Observe what I am doing. Is it really effective? Am I really doing a good work? Is this boy, is this girl changing? If you discover that there's something you have taught, he has learned, but suddenly it surfaces again, get to prayers. Uproot that weed. It's a weed. It ought not to be there. If you allow the weed in a farm, if you have a farmland, you understand what I mean. If you allow the weed, it will subdue the crops from really growing well. But when you weed your farmland, you give space for what you've planted to do well. So uproot that weed you discover in your child. Forgetfulness is a weed. Lying is a weed. Stealing is a weed. All of these things are not the virtues God has planted in him. So watch, observe, root it out through prayers and through doing what you need to do. And with all of this, as God helps you, that child will not be lost. A child of many prayers can never be lost. So don't give up on your child. Don't ever give up on your child. A story was told of one man who got into a ship, and while he was sailing, the ship subsided, and so many of them drowned, but he was saved. And while he was there, another ship came along, and he waved, and they rescued him. He entered that one, the same trouble. The ship subsided again. He alone was saved. He moved along. Another ship came along. rescued him. I can't remember the number of times, but it was a good number until finally he sailed safely to where he was going to. But he was amazed what was really happening. And then while he came on board, um, the Marines told him, please, there's a woman here. We need you to come help us. She has been praying that she will not die till she sees her son. Please come and pose as her son so that she can die in peace. And he agreed. So the woman can have a peace. You know, when he came around and he said, Mama, I am safe and I am saved. So here am I. And the woman turned. And you know what happened? That was actually her son. She was his mother. He's glad, Mama. He said, my son. Oh, I'm so glad. Now I can die in peace. I have been praying for you all my life that God will keep you safe. And today I've seen you with my eyes. I can live in peace. And that changed the life of that boy. The prayers of his mama were never in vain. So don't give up on your child no matter what you see. Don't stop praying. Don't stop speaking life. Don't kill your child by yourself with the words from your mouth, speaking evil, speaking death. No, stop it. From today, that child is a treasure. And remember, he or she does not belong to you. You are only a caretaker. And the manufacturer trusts you so much that you're going to do a good job. That's why he gave him to you. So take care of him like he is yours. But remember, he belongs to someone. So do your best and allow God to do the rest. I believe you've learned something from the Rod of Correction. If there are any questions, feel free to ask. Give your comments and subscribe to God's Favor TV. God bless you as you share so that all the parents can benefit. And God will help us all. God bless you. Bye.